Hey everybody, how are we doing tonight? Got audio working? Things seems good there. Okay. So tonight's not gonna be too long. Knees bugging me, so don't feel like I want to be standing in here too long. But I do want to kind of work on this for a short period. I'm gonna show you guys what the part is that I want to be installing, and I do need to make some changes to it. Also, this one kind of failed. I want to see and just do kind of a test fit tonight, see how everything kind of goes together. Might do hop into Fusion, make a couple quick changes there. But the only thing that I wanted to do also was to connect the Pi directly to the SKR, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that this way. I kind of was hoping the SKR could power the Pi, but I'm not really finding any information on doing that. I found one here for just doing the TX, RX, and ground, but nothing about power. So not really seeing how I can do that. If somebody knows if there is a way to power the Pi 3 directly from the SKR, that'd be good to know, because I'm not doing that on anything. I have both the Pi Zeros powered from them, and I have a power converter that's powering the one in the BLV and Bumblebee, but not. But this one I don't really think I can. So we're going to get this apart and see. The other thing is that I kind of forgot is that I have an octocoupler and a step-down transformer here, our step-down voltage converter, that is powering the, what is this powering again? Which fan is this going to? Oh, it's for the optocoupler. That's what it's for. It's to give this 12 volts instead of 24 volts. So I think someone said this works off of 24 volts, but I didn't really want to challenge it, really, you know? Kind of afraid to do that, because I think there was an issue before when I tried to do it off 24 volts. But because I think these are 6 to 36, I think. I don't really remember. Hey, Ben. Need a new Rambo case because M3's clone cables are too large for the cable clamps. Adam, I was just looking on one. If you go to, in the Discord, go to the 3D design. I had just posted one. It's a Rambo case, also has a Pi in it. I don't know if you need a Pi in yours, but check out the 3D design channel, because I was going to remix one other thing in there, and that's what I was looking at. Hey, Ryan. So all right, I'm going to get this out for now. And then we can just see how these are all going to fit. Yeah, if I could eliminate the power converter and still have the optocoupler in there, that'd be fine. But I just don't know if I can. Hey, Aaron. On you. This guy here. Just unscrew. Bolt head is a little loose. Let's say the nut's a little loose. No. There we go. All right. Can pull this off. And then these are just hot glued on. I'm hoping bust them free without breaking them. Didn't put that much hot glue on. Hey, Jared. So I want to use UART on this one, Adam, but the only thing that I'm I don't know what I can do is actually powering the Pi 3. If I need to use a separate power source, if I can somehow power it through the SKR, because ideally I want one power connector for all of my printers. I don't like having multiple power cables. So that's kind of where I am on that. This hot glue is a little stronger than I anticipated. To keep this up to get these loose. Get out the heat gun real quick. Yeah, I don't know because the Pi 3 needs 3 amps. So did it? Not good. Ooh, that's hot. It's real hot. Jeez. All right. Loose. Heat up the soldering iron because now I got to connect that. Fans is not needed typically. Huh. Hey, Derek. So, sorry, I'm reading through chat here. So, Jared, can I power it off of? Well, I still need a step down converter because there's no 5-volt off of here. So like I said, I really want to know is, can I run this the optocoupler off of 24 volts instead of 12 volts? Because if I could run off 24 volts, that would make everything a whole lot simpler. But let me show you guys the case real quick. So this is the case that's going to go on Optimus Prime. And right here is where the Raspberry Pi 3 sits. So I ended up moving the fan up and I added some mounting holes. The problem with this is that I forgot to chamfer these. So there's very little meat there. So Aaron told me just go ahead and use some super glue around them real quick. It's dirty, it's ugly, but you're not going to see it. And just kind of reinforce those for now. But the problem is that this right here failed. So it should look like this. And those arms, those little walls just kind of failed. So we're going to see if this works out tonight. If not, I will reprint it. But we have to get everything else disconnected first. So I got my Pi 3 up here. Ready to get this disconnected then. I really like this case. This one worked out well. Stops at 5 volt. Are they always 5 volt, Ryan? Like, is that can always 5 volt out? Because if it is, then if I could power it off one of the end stops, I could do that. And the 5 volt, how much amperage can an end stop take? Made popcorn, I can smell it. Okay, so that looks like a case. And this should just slide out. Friction fit in there. And just in case it doesn't work, we're going to set that to the side. And yeah, so this just comes in. Here, like this. So again, we're missing the walls there, which is kind of a letdown. But I just want to make sure that, let me get a little USBs can fit in. And there's plenty of space where the walls will be. See, there is still space in there. Top one. Plenty of space in there. All right, let me get out some tiny threes. And these are going to be like 6 mils. These are going to be short ones. That's okay. Got some little guys here. It should work out. So far, so good. Now, I got this idea actually from I found a few NZ and SKR big cases, but I like this little case that Aaron found and modified, plus the mount that he made makes it work really well for this use case because it has to be back and offset off of the axis to make space for the X motor to go up and down along the side. Works out well. fits in there okay. And get our, so the big question here is how can we remount our connection? You know, 'cause power's here. This is not ideal. We've got this guy here to mount somewhere. Could fit there, potentially. Could fit up top, potentially. I just don't know if solder work here. Fix this cable that came off. These low gauge wires, I swear. Itty bitty little things. Aaron, so actually what I did on the BLV is I have these little short USBs, and what I did is I just cut this off, wired it to the power port, so that way I'm still powering it via the USB port, but I'm getting the power from somewhere else. So that's kind of what I want to do here as well. Is I would just snip this and connect it to the appropriate spot on the SKR. I might end up having just to do that with this, hook it up to the TFT mount and see what happens. Is there a TFT on the 1.3? Yeah, there is right there. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. I guess there's really only one way to find out, is going to be to wire it up that way and see what happens. So I have to get this mounted back in so that I can see what we need to do here. Move these cables back out of the way a little bit. Let's see what I'm doing here. That hole's a little bit too big. Okay. We're going to actually go ahead and reverse the fan. I'm going to pull the air through instead of blowing it in. I think that'll have a better longevity to the, a little less junk making its way into the case. It's not lining up properly. Well, I think this is the older revision of the fan shroud that Aaron and I made that is off by just a hair. It'll be off by like almost nothing. Last one. So get this one to line up any better. It literally is right there. Why is it getting hung up on something? There we go. Yeah, these holes are just off by like half a mil. It's making it hard to get these bolts in. Oh, cat. He is laying in the doorway, just chilling. That's on there. Oh. Oh yeah, Jared, I forgot. I am doing a screen off of this. All right. Well, so here's the question then. Can I run an optocoupler off of 24 volts? That is the question that needs answering. Because if I can, then I can repurpose this to be the 5-volt power for the Pi. I mean, it's just a optocoupler. I mean, I don't know what the model is. It's just an optocoupler. I don't. The optocoupler for Jared is to run the inductive probe into the SKR, because the SKR does not put out the necessary voltage for the optocoupler. Optocoupler is 6 to 36 volts, and the end stops only put out 5 volts. So that's why you can't run that off of the end stop headers. Need to know the model for the chip. There's no, oh crikey. All right, so on here it says EL817 C710. I have no idea what a bat diode is. The sheet is pages long, the data sheet. Let's see here. Hmm. I've got the data sheet up here for it, but I'm just not uh 720. Input is 5-volt rated, and the output can handle. Well, right now it's running off of 12 volts, so it's definitely not 5 volts in. The coupler, see what comes up. Oh, that's the thing for it. So they have these here. They're all pretty much the same. Just freaking, no, just go back. Don't want to sign in. Input signal 3 to 5 volts, 12 or 24 volts. So it says it can do it. Yeah, EL817. What's the C909? Ooh, does that matter? It's still an 817. That says 913. Oh, I think the bottom number doesn't matter. It's just the EL817 is what matters. The C9 might be like part code or something like that. Batch numbers, maybe. Another one here. So this is telling us this is not telling me anything here. It says this one says 12 volts. Well, it's not hooked up to the Pi, Aaron. It's hooked up to the SKR. EO817 again. This one also says 12 volts. I don't know if Tim still sells them or not. Because this is the one I always usually use. So this tells me it's 12 volt. That's why I've always gone off 12 volt here, is because this is the wiring thing that I always go off of. So Tim's wiring diagram also says 12 volts. I don't know if he does it just because it's on order printers or what it is. No, Aaron, I'm stepping the voltage down for the optocoupler. Tim used to sell them. Maybe modified for 24 volt. Oh, it says you just have to replace the resistor on it with a 4.7K ohm resistor. That's interesting. I wonder if I have one of those. Let me take a look real quick, see if I have 4.7K. Oh, I just found my other resistor downstairs if I don't have one in this little kit here. But this little kit had everything I needed so far. I mean, is 5K close enough? Okay. Okay, the closest I have in here. 2K, 220s, 1K. Might need to run downstairs if that doesn't work. I mean, 300 ohms difference. Look it up real quick. Code. 5 strip. We've got, I can't even read these colors. Looks like red, gold, black, red something. See what I can do, Aaron. Plugged in. Hang on a second. Plug you for now. This one. Here. Straight 24 volts. How am I getting 24 volts through a resistor? Doesn't make any sense. Sense at all. So you can basically run a very large range of input voltage as long as you're running off voltage. So the one thing is I'm not really understanding why I have to step it down for this, because the I'm not understanding why it has to be stepped down to 12 volts. Why can't it do 24 volts? Could be because I have this wired wrong. It's still 24 volts. Don't understand. Why is it 24 volts going through a resistor? So, Mike, I'm looking at, from what I can see, actually, you know what? Let's just do it this way. Let's, I have another optocoupler here. It has to output 5 volts to go to the end stop. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hook in this with 24 volts. I'm going to measure its output. Get this thing to stay sitting upright properly. I can actually get my leads on it. Or I burn it up, one or the other. So I need to do the voltage and ground. Not triggered. Confused by this thing. Should be able to see my voltage from here. I'm seeing nothing. Well, I don't have any of that, Jared. But that guy did get toasty. I'm just trying to figure out if I need to repurpose the optocoupler. I need to repurpose the power so I can run the Pi off of it. I don't have enough space in this case to run 2 step-down modules. That's the current issue. I don't want to print another case. I like this case. I want to keep this case. I don't know how I'm going to be able to get this to work properly if I can't run this off of a different voltage. Unless I modify this other one that I have with this resistor and see if it just works. I guess this is a voltage divider because there are 2 resistors on here. So, this is the optocoupler. And per the article I just found, it says replace this resistor here with the 4.7 kilo ohm one, 4.7K. So I could just replace that one with the 5 and see if it gets us to our range. Darren, I'm already running a buck converter is what I'm trying to say. I need a second buck converter in here. I don't have space for it though. Unless I run it like right here. But I don't know if it will clear the power headers, which it won't. Now running it over here puts it in front of the GPIO pins, and that doesn't work either. The optocoupler is going to go here to the side, or it can go over here, and then I can run this on this side. Like that and like that. That's not a problem. Okay, so if I do it like this, I still have no way to power the Pi. And I'm trying to figure out a way to power the Pi without using the external power source. run it from the board. Or if I could just get it from the power supply itself, would be more easier. Much more easier if I could do that. Stay here. There's just nowhere else that I can fit one on here, on this board, or in this case. So do you think if I put this other resistor on the board, it'll work? Like that guide says? Because I have my doubts, to be quite honest. Put it away, or did I keep it out? Oh, I kept it out. Milliamps. Well, I got the soldering iron warming back up here. We'll throw that on and see what happens. Take this one off. Where's my helping hand at? I need to print one of those little circuit holders. This helping hand is fine, but it's not as stable as I wish it was. Solder on the tip here. Okay. There's that one out. And then where did I put the new one at? Right there. Those holes clear? Of course not. Do it? Nope. Come on. That should be good enough to get it in there at least. Oh, come on. I crimp as much as I can, but there are times where you gotta solder. It's like getting a tiny drill bit just to drill this back out. Of course, the leads on these are just so frail. Just need to get it started. Do-do-do. Go through. There's a piece on this side. I blocked that side now. And get the solder sucker and get this stuff out one more time here. Oh, so we're gonna do it the not great way. Like that. Tack these in real quick and then let's see what happens here, I guess. Oh, my snips. All right, I'm gonna wire this one in and then we're gonna put it to 24 volts and see what happens. So red, green, black. Where is my little flathead? See if it even triggers properly. Come back through and put some barrels on these little cables. Okay. And then we got to put this guy in here, positive. Here's negative. in here. Open it wide enough. Here. Let me just get these connected. Might need to make a jank style for a minute. Let's see. Let me see if I can find another one of those connectors real quick. Red set. Where's the red set at? Oh, can I use this? No. Wires, where are you at? And no, I have to have at least one more set in here somewhere. There it is, right there. Is that it? Oh, no, that's not. Optical illusion. False hopes. I might have a few too many cables in here. Possibly. Possibly. Thought I still had that one that was double-sided. That would be perfect right now. I could find it. Oh, here it is. And it's proper connector. Sweet. Okay. This will work out just dandily. Let's see what happens. Let's see here. We're going to go into here. We're going to go straight to here. Super not okay way, but I'm hoping it'll work. Highly doubt that's going to work. Dang it. Don't want to crimp. That's too far away. So, other options. What can I do? Let me get this, because we're going to have to boot this up to make sure that it's going to sense properly. So I need to free my USB cable. Here. Okay. Just need to get 24 volts to the do that. And see if I have another cable here that I can somehow use. What do I need? I need just a 2-pin. Any old 2-pin cable will do just fine. Right here. Where are my snips? Right there. Just doing some quick and dirty connections here just so I can test out my theory. See if this works or not. Positive, negative. Come on. Do not want to solder this. I just want it to work. Need it for like 2 minutes. Doggone it. So what I'm gonna do is add this temporary connector onto the end here so I can get a voltage straight off to the power supply in a very quick and easy, and again, as I said, dirty way. Just for testing out if this even works. Optic couplers have been used for 3D printers for years, but I find that the lack of documentation annoying. That should be it. Let's give this guy some power. And then I need to get a Pi power supply and power the Pi. Well, a lot of things don't want to work unless you have the opto in there. Are you kidding me? I did not account for the stupid... I didn't account for the power port because I wasn't going to use the power port on this. Lay psi. This up now. Stupid power cord on this thing. Here. Get the Pi power. Boot up MegaTron. And wait and see if this works. So I do need to move this around a smidge so that I can close this and actually be able to home the printer. So I have to see if it is going to register properly is what we're going for right here. I'm always, my whole preface of like doing anything is trying to make do with what I have. I hate buying things because it takes forever. Interesting. It doesn't like the whole thing about this. So we're just going to pull this out for now. So let's see if this homes. That works. That homed. For the LGX fund. Thank you, Brandon. Yeah, Jared, that was me just trying to play with the Mark 3S. Because the autofilament load works with Clipper on the Mark 3S clone. I was like, cool. So I want to be able to do that with my other printers. And I was just kind of messing with the macros today, and I didn't put a whole ton of thought into it. So I gotta work that later. Well, it does home, and we're not getting hot. So I'm gonna call that a success for being able to use that. Now I just need to figure out how the heck I'm going to power this. Since I have to use the power port, I might need to move the fan over a little bit. Because the fan is blocking the micro USB deal. So I'm going to have to measure that and move that fan over a little bit and go from there. But once I do that, I can then use the now I just can use the buck converter now. I can use this to convert 24 volts down to 5 volts, and then we can do the no external power for the Pi. That's what I was going for. And then Derek drops $50 for the LGX fund. Thank you. Well, Jared, flip the Pi over. Then let me pull it up in Fusion real quick, because then you'll be able to see a little bit better here. But thank you, Derek. I greatly appreciate that. So here is the design, and I didn't notice, but the power in here is directly in line with the fan. I thought I had more clearance than what I have. So what I can do is I can move the whole fan to the left here, 10 millimeters. We go from roughly here. We want to get it over to like here. Yeah, like 10 millimeters would be about enough to make me have space there. Maybe more. Might need to go like 15. That's going to offset the fan, and I don't know if I'm going to like that or not. Alternatively, I could just inset the Pi. You guys kill me. I could inset the Pi and just have the USBs go a little bit there. Yeah, but if I flip it 180 and use spacers and mount it, then the power port is coming out the bottom, and there's no space there either. So I'm kind of stuck with what to do. I'm going to have to ponder this for a little bit, and because this is obviously a design error on my part, I thought I had more clearance here than what I do. And I go for the cleanest aesthetic that I can when I build these, and I don't want all these extra cables everywhere. If everything's inside the case, great. It's out of the way, awesome. Alternatively, we could extend the case and I reprint all of it. And that way I can just move the Pi down and be able to do that. Well, everyone's saying don't use the GPIO power, Jared, because then you don't get the power protection that the USB port provides. I don't know how much I don't know what the issue really is to that. I don't know, but everyone says use the actual USB input. If I could not use the USB input right now, I don't need to. I can just hook up straight with DuPonts to the 5-volt ground on the GPIO pins and done. But everyone's saying use the USB port. So I'm going to have to I'm going to have to think this over. I'm definitely going to sit down with Fusion and try and figure out what I want to do in here, because right now it's just not making, it's not fitting the way I wanted it to, which means I need to redesign it for Optimus too before I do that build, because that was supposed to, this is supposed to work for both of these builds. They're both using the same case. So if I just elongate the whole case a little bit, you know, what is, how long is that here? So this is like 20 mil-ish. If I make it like 20 mil longer, that's not too big of a change. Yeah, I get that. So, all right, well, I have some design things to decide, and maybe tomorrow I'll spend some time and I'll try and design something to get around this problem. I'm kind of glad I took the time to stream and try to put this together and look at it. At least we know I can have the optocoupler working properly now off 24 volts, so I can wire that up. I do know that I need to change how the Pi is connecting there and somehow with the design and figure that out. So I think that's going to be it for tonight. I'm done standing and I'm going to go take a break. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope this helps a little bit, kind of seeing the madness of what I deal with when I try to build these. I try to change them. It was working just fine the way it was. Like literally, it was fine. But I like a more elegant solution. I'd rather not add my own fuse. If it's already built in and it's better to use the USB, I will. You know, again, this is just not exactly how I was kind of hoping this would all finish up. It's going to be cool when I do Hound, because Hound has a completely different case and it's going on a bare frame, so it will work out better anyways. But yeah, I got some designing to do to think about how I'm going to actually make this, how I'm going to accomplish this goal of making this as sleek designed as possible. And then we'll add it to MegaTron, and when we release the Optimus files, which is basically just MegaTron bigger, is what it's going to be. So yeah, I think that's it for tonight. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you to Brandon and Derek for the donations towards a LGX, which I didn't know I wanted, but apparently I should buy one eventually. If you guys want to help out the stream, donate to goofy items for me to buy and throw on printers, you can do any of the links down below. I appreciate everybody that donates and tunes in on these streams, and thanks for hanging out for me tonight. Be back on Friday night with something. Maybe we'll kind of go over what I ended up doing for this printer, because I'll have all week to kind of work on it, muck with it, and go from there. I also have some updates on some of the other printers that are working out right now with Clipper. I'm very, very happy with some of the results I'm getting, having converted you know, most of my custom builds to Clipper. Not all of them yet, but most of them are now converted, and they're coming out great. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Hope you guys have a good night. Happy printing. I'll see you guys next time.